Welcome to the Near Patients Podcast. I'm the host, Henry Wilson, and it would be amazing if you would like and share this podcast. Also, please consider subscribing on YouTube or following on Spotify for more content. This episode is brought to you by eStudio 54. I hope you enjoy. Ian Gelicame, how are you today?
Doing pretty good. How are y'all today?
I'm pretty good. Noah is also joining us today. How are you, Noah?
I'm doing good.
You feeling extra special today or just normal?
It's a normal Tuesday.
It's a normal Tuesday. That's one way to put it.
Why are you here? Are you just here for the podcast?
I need to go to my calculus class because we have the test next week.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
Yeah, the AP. Yeah, you're taking BC this year, right?
BC, yeah.
That's gonna be next year. I don't want to do that.
That's not that bad.
Do you think your AB score will go up?
Oh yeah. So we did a mock test this past week, and I got a 5 on the AB portion and a 4 on the BC.
Dude,
And
that's good.
It was better than last year, which is 4 for AB. So.
Okay. Right now, we've taken a couple mocks. I think I've got a safe 3. And if I really put in the grind this week, I think I've got a shot at a 4.
Noah and I both have the issue that we do really well on the FRQs because we can at least get a point on even a question that we have no idea what we're doing on. But when it comes to the multiple choice, for some reason, at least the recent mocks we've been taking, we've just been not doing well whatsoever.
But that's the good thing about FRQs. It's like you can just do half the work and you get half the point. But multiple choice, you have to get the right answer.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because when I was originally thinking of like, oh, the multiple choice is going to be easy. And then it's like, oh, it's actually not easy. Like that's actually not like easy, but easier than the FRQs.
Yeah.
But then the FRQs end up being the easiest part. I'm like, how does that work?
How many AP tests do you have?
This year, just 2. AP language and comp, and then AP calculus BC.
And then Lang's not too bad, is it?
Well, in my opinion, I'm better at math. A lot better at math.
I'm the other way around, dude.
So like my essay writing skills are horrible, and my like, comprehension skills are horrible as well. But somehow I'm in AP Lang, and I feel like I can get a solid 3 on that because Ms. Alsip, our teacher, is just pushing us, and it's really nice.
So I'm wondering if that's a good segue into my other question, because you are musical_Ian.
Yes. That's Snapchat, Instagram, musical_Ian. Shameless plug.
Dude, I don't blame you. But don't they say that music has more to do with math than it does typical written English?
Yeah. I've heard that a lot, actually. So I'm in band and choir. That's why I call myself musical Ian.
Instead of just choir or band
yeah, exactly.
Ian.
I'm in both. And it's really just like rhythms, counting, how to like separate each rhythm by each part and how to isolate each one. Kind of helps with your mathematical skills and like really straightforward. Mm-hmm. But there's also an aspect of music where it's like English, like the lyrics of music, songs, again, like the how you like write. It just really reflects of how English skills are used in music too.
Yeah, I think with language and music, one of the it's like it's kind of involved, but it's not so involved that I can't like sing a Marshallese song or whatever.
Yeah,
because it's more about phonetics than it is anyway, like how people speak and just vowels and stuff. But yeah,
because like I know Spanish, I like know somewhat Spanish, and I can sing a Spanish song, but I won't necessarily know what it means.
Right, and
it could have like a whole different meaning. It might sound happy, but it has a really sad meaning to it.
It's like a Bad Bunny song where it's kind of the joke where people that speak Spanish and they listen to it on the radio, white people just vibing out, they don't know what it's saying, and then people that actually speak Spanish, they're like, you know what he's saying,
it's like talking about like really bad stuff.
Yeah, no, it's real dirty and stuff, but everybody's just vibing to it like they don't know what's up.
I mean, that's the joy of music. It can really go through everybody.
Yeah,
regardless of like music, like lyrics and all that, like just the way it sounds, really.
Ever since
like,
Despacito, it feels like feels like Latin music is really having like commercial success.
Oh yeah,
which is really great.
Which is, I don't know, it's pretty nice having like Despacito, just like give a rise to all the Latina artists.
Yeah, well, because it was like the Billboard #1 song. I think it was 14 weeks, and then like later in the year, Old Town Road just destroyed that record. But when Despacito was like 14 weeks or whatever, that was insane.
And then Justin Bieber had to come in, add his little.
Yeah, I think that was
Spanish in
what
there.
took it. It was a good song already, and I guess it's a little unfortunate that a song like that can't just take off without somebody like Justin Bieber, at least in the American market.
It did help a lot. It helped a lot, which is good.
Yeah, and he didn't ruin the song. I think he added enough to it.
Yeah, with that song, I noticed that when it first started hitting the charts in the U.S., is that you had the Justin Bieber being the one, that version being the one that was really like put forward.
Yeah.
But it seemed like later in the summer, as people started listening to it more, the Justin Bieber one kind of faded out. That you'd start seeing people that had no idea what was going on in that song with at least the Spanish version.
Yeah.
And they'd be starting to sing the full Spanish version instead of just the Justin Bieber and version and the Bad Bunny one.
Yeah.
Well, not Bad Bunny. Luis Fonsi.
Luis
Sorry.
Fonsi and
Yeah.
Daddy Yankee.
Yeah.
So as far as music goes, do you think was theory easy for you to learn last year?
Well, I've always been invested in music, so I would always go like search up random stuff on YouTube, like, hey, what is this chord, or how do you make this cadence? So
Cadence is timing, right?
cadence is how like things resolve. So you hear a chord, and then how it sounds nicely going into a next chord, and how it like ends is called a cadence.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I would just always like to search up stuff because I'm a music nerd, and it was difficult getting to the newer stuff that I learned because I didn't know that much about sevenths, cadences either, but it just really helped. It just pushed me forward.
And for you, like, don't you know kind of the basics of a bunch of different instruments? I mean, you're not like Jimmy Page on the guitar, but you know plenty of chords and you can hold your own, which is really, really cool, even though I don't think it's your primary instrument.
No, my primary instrument is basically my voice. I'm a majority singer, but I know basic chords on piano, how to read piano music, guitar, ukulele, a lot of string instruments. They're kind of the same. Bass, guitar.
Yeah.
And then they're all kind of the same. So
Isn't the transition from bass to guitar from guitar to bass really not all that terrible because it's just kind of like down an octave?
Yeah, okay. So
or something.
The guitar has 6 strings, and then the bass guitar is 4 of the same strings but just down an octave.
Oh, okay.
So if you know how to read,
which ones aren't the 6?
So there's low E, A, D, G, B, and high E.
Okay.
And then the bass just has E, A, D, and G just down an octave.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
if you know how to read guitar, which a lot of kids like to get in guitar because it's it's smaller than a bass in the sense that like
there's also social benefits to learning how to play the guitar, or at least teenage boys think so.
You see a Disney movie and the guy with the guitar gets all the girls, and I mean that's kind of why I picked the guitar.
I don't know. That might be like out of date. I don't know if that's holds true to this day, but a lot of us still think so. Like I asked my mom for a guitar for Christmas. I played around with it over Christmas break, and I broke the strings a couple of times, and I really didn't know how to put them back on, so I kind of fell out of it. I don't know. I think I'm going to try and restring that and mess around with it this summer.
It's good. But I feel like since music has shifted from like acoustic to more like hip hop, tech kind of beats, it's more like, oh, I got a synthesizer or I got a computer to make beats on. Mm-hmm. It's more of like I got a guitar now.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good question. So with music, I don't really think it's that big a secret that what is mainstream in music, a lot of the people producing those songs maybe don't have a typical music education. They're not like based in theory, whereas 200 years ago, you weren't getting anywhere. You weren't having any #1 records.
Unless you were like born into music.
Yeah, because a lot of those kids, I'm sure Bach or whatever, they're like before they can eat solid foods, they can read a symphony, and it's like your parents they had messed up priorities or whatever.
Yeah, it's just nowadays you see more partnerships, more like not alliances, but like people are helping each other because there's always like producers, and and then the singers.
Mm-hmm.
Like back then used to be producer, singer, songwriter all in one. Like Taylor Swift, did she produce her own songs?
She does as of late. I don't think when she started. I'm not sure.
Well,
the label was helping her out a lot
Yeah.
when she started, but as her music's gotten better, it's also gotten a lot more personal, and she's had a lot more control over it. But like Jack Antonoff of Fun,
Oh yeah.
because not the lead singer, but the other guy.
Uh-huh.
He's one of her producers.
Oh really?
He's been producing some I don't know. I think 2 or 3 Grammy Best Album of the Year or whatever he's produced in like the last 6 or 7 years. He's a madman.
You know, a good producer and good songwriter, song and lyricist is Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas. They are like killing it now.
They're probably the best duo that I can think of off the top of my head.
And it's like, it's so
in like
sad.
modern pop, yeah.
Because Phineas doesn't really get enough attention, but he's starting to grow. But Billie Eilish is like very popular. Her songs produced by her brother Phineas,
Yeah.
written by her, and yeah.
I feel like for a while I didn't have enough appreciation for Billie Eilish, because as I understood it from the beginning, he was the one really running the show, and what people liked about her music, maybe her voice was very interesting because it's just kind of, it's like very up close and it's a little different. But what I thought was cool was the creative production.
Mm-hmm.
So as I liked that a lot, I saw Phineas not getting any credit. But I also don't think I was giving Billie Eilish enough credit, because that's her style. She's writing the songs, but it's really an amazing duo, and he's really protective of that. I don't know if it's gonna be a long time before he relinquishes that role of producer to somebody else.
Yeah. So I'm in pod class right now, which is a class about listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
And so we have an assignment called 400 Minutes, is where we have to listen to different podcasts. And we had to get a total of 400 minutes. And one of the podcasts I listened to was Song Exploder. And the topic was Billie Eilish talking about one of her songs, Everything I Wanted. It was her and her brother just talking about how that song came to like fruition. Mm-hmm. It was just like, she had a dream. It's really sad. It's like her talking about suicide. Oh. And then how like her brother just put her feelings into the music. And it's really nice. So
do you think music's a bit too negative nowadays? I mean, because like emo hip hop got really popular there.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead,
music has always been negative.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like
true.
it's. I don't want
Artists express like the sad parts of their life.
Yeah, a lot of like, look at a lot of the music that you hear on the charts today, and what you have probably heard for the last 50 or some odd years. There's songs about love. There's songs about heartbreak. There's songs about a lot of different things. You normally don't see a song about the beauty of a sunset, the beauty of like nature, the beauty of someone. You might see the beauty of someone, but like you normally see a lot of those moments in life that they try to relate to their listeners. So you see a lot of those moments that people share the same feelings, after a breakup, X, Y, and Z. So you normally share those experiences, and those are normally the ones that get really popular. That's what I see, at least.
Yeah, just like coming from a musical standpoint, writing sad songs is a lot easier, because when you're sad, you just kind of want to pour your feelings into something, and quickly you can just write a song. If you know chords and how to write, it's kind of the easier way to go. But it's more pop songs, you hear more sad songs. But chorally, like in choir, you hear a lot of songs about nature, beauty. That's where you see most of it, because they have time and they have passion in that. So, yeah, a lot of negative songs.
Yeah, that's true. True.
So Ian, you both, like you mentioned earlier, you both do choir and you both and you do band.
Yes.
In band, what instrument do you play?
I play trombone, and for the listeners that do not know what it is, just if you see an instrument that like gets longer as you play it, that's my instrument.
So something that I've noticed with you is that you are both very adept at actually singing. Like you said earlier, that that singing in your voice is your main instrument.
Yes.
But that you're also fantastic, at least at a high school level, at trombone. So, whoa, that's a weird noise in the background. I apologize. So how does that relate to like possibly going to college or getting some maybe some scholarships or some opportunities to sing in choirs or to play in orchestras?
Well, playing in band is a lot harder than singing in a choir, because it's a lot harder to play in an instrument than to be in a choir, because it's very technical. Band's very technical, because you might not necessarily be good at an instrument. It's hard because it's for some reason playing an instrument's harder than singing, because singing is just a natural thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, where was I? Oh, scholarships in college. So,
Yeah, where are you going?
I'm going to U of A, University of Arkansas, majoring in vocal music education. I want to be a choir director. That's
That's a cool goal. That's a cool
is.
goal.
That'd be really dope.
Yeah. So we have this thing called All-State for choir and band, and it goes to show how you are as a singer or musician. I got 9th chair. That means I got 9th chair in the state as a bass 1. And then this is my first year making All-State band, and I got 3rd chair or 3rd band 4th chair, which is it's okay. And then trombones is a really hard room because for some reason in the state of Arkansas it's very competitive. There's a lot of good trombonists in Arkansas, and
So that's a testament to your skill of being a 3rd chair or whatever.
yeah.
Right?
Oh, 3rd band 4th chair.
So okay, so there's like tiers to the band.
Yeah, so there's like each band takes like 7.
Oh, okay.
So I'm about like 20th in the state, but it's hard. It's hard. And then, yeah.
Cool.
And then going to college, it helps a lot just because practicing for All-State just kind of gets you ready for auditions.
Mm-hmm.
So this year I had to audition to the U of A for trombone and choir through recordings. And it was kind of weird because I'm used to performing in front of someone, one and done. But now recording is just, you can do as many takes as you want, and it's weird.
Are you better under pressure? So that one shot you have, does that typically end up being better than I've got 20 different takes? Because you'd think the 20 would wind up being better, but some people are just better at doing the one when all the chips are on the table.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It's just kind of, you get meet in the middle. Because if you do one and done, then you might mess up. Boom. You might have ruined your audition.
Mm-hmm.
But if you keep doing multiple takes over and over again, then you might just get tired of doing it.
Yeah.
And your voice gets tired and hurt. So it's kind of like there's a good and the bad in both.
Yeah. I like choir. That was one of those things because I was at a school where they didn't have a choir for a couple of years, but I'd done it in middle school. I just knew that coming to a new school, I needed something that wasn't just sitting in a class.
Yeah.
So I just kind of joined it on. It was actually like when you come to school, like the day or like
Orientation?
Thursday, but yeah, orientation.
Mm-hmm.
I asked to join at orientation. It wasn't originally on my schedule, and I'm really happy I did. So, but I'm not great at it, but I'm okay.
Well, you don't have to be good at anything to enjoy it.
That's true.
Yeah. So like yeah. What do you say?
I mean, I'm not even in choir, and I like singing, but I sound like crap. But I like singing, and I like to play instruments. So it's like you at least with you is like you may not be at like that highest level to like maybe be a all-state first chair or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like you put your time and effort into it, and you enjoy it. And me, I don't put any time and effort in it, and I still enjoy it. So
Yeah, this year's been weird because I don't think that I have. I'm pretty sure my choir director knows this, but it's been hard for me to focus on choir because junior year, like my workload and everything else has gone up, and it's like as much passion as I have for choir, it has been like the least important thing in the midst of everything else. I know no one wants to say it. It's like a hard thing to say, but like seriously. And then it's just, and I don't know how this was with band, but I remember at the beginning of the year, it was really hard for kids in different music classes to have passion about it with the masks and stuff. It just takes so much of the personality and emotion out of it.
No, definitely, because we were exposed like seventh grade to instruments without masks, and you get into like high school and you have to wear all this. You can't be with your buddies up close playing together. It just kind of ruins the fun of everything.
Yeah, it's tough, and it's just trying to maintain that balance of making sure you're up on stuff. But for me, it was like last year I was better at trying to help out my section. This year I'm just trying to keep up with them.
Yeah,
which is different, and it really sucks that it's that way. I'm just hoping next year that it kind of returns to the way it was, and I can have that passion for it again.
I mean, you guys are both smart. Y'all are both in IB, so I mean, it's
Yeah.
respectable to have like priorities. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but I've also known our director for a long time, and that feels terrible. If I didn't know her, I'd be okay with it. As awful as that sounds. But I'm friends with her kid, and it's like, at any point, if she noticed I'm not like putting enough effort into it, there's a chance she points it out, and she would be totally right to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a sticky situation.
Have you noticed that like her kid hasn't been in choir?
Well, because he's in physics.
Well, exactly.
And he's a math nerd, so in all fairness to him, I think he needed to get physics for engineering or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh yeah, he wants to be an engineer, or something.
Yeah, no, he wants to be an engineer. But I think the reason that worked is because she's the director and he can learn it out of class, still get that the director input at home.
Yeah.
So it makes sense since he needs to be in it. I don't think that'll be how it works next year. But, I mean, if it's going to work for anybody to do that, if he needs to take another class, it makes sense for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With me is that, you guys are doing your little conversation over here, so I'm just listening in.
Let you join in.
With me, well, you guys are saying probably more intrinsic things about choir than I could. The last time I was in choir was like 4 years ago, so I mean, I know my scales kinda, but not really.
When were you in choir?
Vocal music, 9th grade. Actually, that would have been 2 or 3 years ago, whatever that math was.
Mr. Sorensen's class?
That was such an interesting class because literally we would just sing Christmas carols the whole time, and I was fine with it.
It's like September,
and then
we're learning the Christmas carols. We're like, what is this?
And then half the time he'd be like, I don't really want to sing today. Let's do some jazz. So he'll be on his like guitar, and I know nothing about guitar at the time until today. He'll like, do this chord whenever you want to. I'll be like, okay. And then he'll have somebody on the computer just playing like, a C major chord and like just improvising other things. He's like, this is excellent jazz. I'm like, what?
I mean, that's the thing about jazz. It's really like I've learned from like being like band and all that. Jazz could be anything. You can just slam keys on a piano, and some people will call it art, just like art. I could slide around on the trombone. Art, jazz. That's the like best improv. I don't know. It's just weird.
That class we were in, the teacher, I envied him because like he had a bunch of cool experiences. Have you ever seen somebody wear like a Led Zeppelin U.S. tour 1975 shirt? It's kind of I don't know. It's kind of a cliche. If anybody has a Zeppelin shirt, it's like U.S. tour 1975. He actually saw them on that tour, which was like really dope.
I really liked him. He was a good guy.
Yeah, he was a cool guy. But have you been into to any concerts?
Actually, I haven't.
We got to change that.
I know. After COVID, I'm down to go to any concert.
I have a little concert fund. I put a little money in the stock market, and I'm hoping that it'll cultivate into more money, and that's my concert fund.
Yeah, back whenever was it Travis Scott that did Jambalaya here, or was it just?
He didn't do Jambalaya.
It was Juice WRLD and
Juice WRLD.
Playboy Cardi, yeah.
I went to that.
You went to that one?
Uh-huh.
I wanted to go to that one really bad. First, I don't know. I wasn't into rap that much, but I was like, it's a concert. I really wanted to go.
It was hype. You don't really have to be into any of them for you to have had fun at that. It was a good time.
I was just so like young compared to now. Like my music taste, I was like, I would have been like, no idea what any lyrics was. I was just been like, just bumping my head to each song, jumping up.
Well, yeah, it was 8 hours long, so 8 hours. You're probably gonna have a headache at the end of that.
Did there end up being like multiple fights on the lawn?
No.
Or was it just one?
No, there was one fight on the lawn.
I remember
that possibly involved
entire
students at a school
that we shall not
town.
name. Yes.
Yeah. But that was a little
I remember
townwide drama, which was a little fun.
Yeah, it was like school versus school too, wasn't it? It was like
it was something like that, or it was like a
don't know.
football team thingy. I don't remember.
It started some beef. I don't know. Maybe we should move on from that. Somebody's gonna get offended. But no, that was a really, really fun.
And then the Travis Scott's concert, didn't he incite a riot?
Incite a riot. That was a very. I know somebody that was there in the pit.
That was the 2017 definition of incite a riot.
Yeah. Yeah, it has changed definitely now. That's
a
for
little
sure.
bit, but
yeah, to say the least. But no, he. So for those who don't know, Travis Scott, he's a very influential and very popular rapper these days. He's from Houston. That's kind of like his whole vibe. He literally had an album called Astroworld, named after a amusement park that he went to as a kid, next to the Astrodome, for reference.
Yeah.
And at this concert, he was doing his thing. He was having some he was, putting down. I don't know. He was doing his thing. Everybody was hype. And then towards the end of his set, he was like, "Everybody, come towards the stage." And
I think his contention was that there was space in the pit.
And that there was space in the pit that's right before the stage. And then somebody saw something. Somebody didn't like it. Somebody called the police. They said he incited a riot, which, let's be honest, in 2021, that's not a riot.
But no, he told the people, because at the amp, it's it goes closest to the stage is the pit, and then seats. That's where I was at Jambalaya. Seats were actually kind of nice because it rained, and then lawn. And I think there was room in the pit, and people from the seats rushed it, and it got way crowded. Some people got trampled and stuff.
No,
Which I mean, it's a Travis Scott show, but Northwest Arkansas wasn't ready for the rage.
No, I get the like being in a seat and trying to rush up to the front, trying to jump over seats and try to like shimmy your way through each aisle.
Yeah.
So I bet like a lot of people got hurt.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure if there was any like major injuries, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a few that went undocumented that they got bruised or something.
I mean, lots of bruises probably.
Yeah. But
the people that saw the news story were like, "Oh my god, this is an outrage!" But all the kids were like, "Dude, that's so cool!"
Yeah. And then in the Netflix documentary on his life, "Look, Mom, I Can Fly," literally the opening thing is just like like a drone shot of the entire amp, and he's like, "Everybody come towards the stage."
Wait,
and
really?
then
There was a Netflix documentary?
yeah, there's a Netflix documentary,
yeah.
and that opened it up the whole thing. And the thing
amp?
that made me so angry about it, okay, is that the newscast that they did, and it's like rapper Travis Scott. It was the ones down in Little Rock, not the ones up here in Northwest Arkansas. I was like, really, them?
Oh, it wasn't a
Them?
newscast.
Nah, that was just a little thing. But no, that was a very interesting because I remember that happening and like seeing the news thing. I was like, why would there be a stampede or a riot at a concert? And then Travis Scott got really big after that with the release of Astroworld, and that's when I at least was introduced to him. So very, very interesting times, to say the least.
Yeah, I got introduced to Travis Scott because of Astroworld. Everyone was like, "Oh, Astroworld's dropping." I was like, "I don't know what that is. Who is Travis Scott?" And at that time, like, when did that come out? Like 2000.
I can look it up real quick, but it probably like 2018 or so.
28. If it's 2018, then I was just a little sophomore at that time.
Yeah,
So by like
it was 2017.
27, I was still like a 9th grader, 10th grader. But my music taste back then was so horrendous. What
was it?
It was just musicals.
Oh,
Beatles.
musicals and the Beatles.
And the
What
Well,
what
the
Beatles do you like the most? Like what album?
I like most of their albums. My favorite song is like Nowhere Man,
What's that off of?
Rubber Soul.
I haven't listened to Rubber
Soul?
Soul. That's one I need to.
But one album that I like, just the one album. My brother went to Springdale, and then he was in choir, and then he had a group of guys, and they just sang Beatles songs as quartet, and that's how I kind of got into music too.
Yeah.
But like he was like influenced me to listen to Beatles, so I'll just keep listening to Beatles, and that's how I just like continued my music taste in Beatles.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so musicals and Beatles. That was mainly it.
Can I drop some breaking news?
What's up?
Okay, yes. Yeah, there's some pretty breaking news, I guess,
this is
as
good.
we
This
record
is
it.
great news. This is news a year in the making. So the notification just came up on my phone. The Washington Post: fully vaccinated Americans can go without masks outdoors, except in crowded settings. CDC says. So
Hey,
if you're fully vaccinated.
We'll be fully vaccinated with the time period within like a few weeks for both of us, Noah.
Yeah. Have you gotten vaccinated?
Yeah, I'm half vaccinated. I'm getting my second one this coming Monday.
Oh, that's cool. We're getting ours Friday this week. So
Yeah,
First or
so-
second?
the second one.
Second.
Oh, nice.
So it's like 2 weeks after that, and then you're ready to rock and roll.
And that's good for us too, because we're lifeguards. So as a lifeguard,
Yeah.
we'll have reason to not wear a mask.
Yeah, that's
Maybe that'll give people the motivation to go do it.
With me
despite
and the
conspiracy
whole
theories.
masks thing, I'm fine with wearing a mask right now. Frankly, it's not that big of a deal, but it will be really nice when we don't have to wear them anymore.
Yeah.
Because it is really weird to try to read someone's like how they actually like are thinking or talking at that time with just their eyes. Like it's just kind
There's
of
so much facial expressions in the mouth and like the cheeks.
yeah.
It's everything.
And the crazy thing about it is just like we learned that as like little kids. Like we don't even remember that phase in life that we learned it, but we learned it from like people around us.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I think because of the pandemic, we learned how to emphasize emotions with our eyes. Like, have y'all ever like smiled in a picture with the mask on, and then you just squint your eyes to make it look like you're smiling, but you have a straight face?
Yeah, I've done that many times.
Why am I taking this picture?
It's like squint.
Yeah, it's like
All right.
squint
Yeah.
like it's like you have a bright light in your eye. Just
Yeah.
So-
But no, it's time.
So what? We were talking about concerts a few minutes ago, but what concert do you want to go see first after, like, of just a band? Maybe not even scheduled, but like, what would you want to see after the pandemic?
like modern bands or like any band in general? Like
Let's
in their
do
prime?
modern bands, since it
Modern
would be
bands?
like, actually, no, any bands. If they're touring today,
Even if
what
they're
band?
dead, you know.
Sure, why not? Any band that you'd like to
any-
see in concert.
I really wanted to see Journey. Journey was
yeah.
in concert like when I was little, and I think my parents went to it, but I just wasn't old enough to go yet.
Yeah.
But I like Journey. I like 80s rock.
80s rock.
That's what I
pretty dope.
like.
Journey is really great. I think but maybe for the last decade when they were touring, Steve Perry. I don't know when. I don't know when Steve Perry stopped.
I know that. It's like he stopped in around the late 90s. I think, okay, if there's a fact checker, I'm sorry. But I think late 90s, early 2000s, that's when he kind of stopped. And then they got this guy. His name is Arnel Pineda, and he's Filipino, which is why I also like Journey, because the lead singer was a Filipino. And the weird thing is he sounds exactly like Steve Perry. Like if you listen to the newer songs and the older songs, it's just a slight little like accent.
Who do you think's more talented? And we'll even it out. When Perry was in his prime.
Oh, well.
Because this guy's younger, right? I don't know if he's still younger, but when he joined, I think he was younger.
I think he was like maybe like late 30s maybe.
Okay.
But in my opinion, I really can't say. I know Steve Perry did a lot of solo stuff too, and with Journey. So I don't know. I haven't heard anything from Arnel Pineda.
Okay. But
solo.
no, people like seeing Journey even without Steve Perry, which is really a
Oh,
testament
for sure,
to the other guy.
Well, that question goes to you. What band would you want to see most in concert?
I like fantasy see anybody. Oh, I can't think of. I mean, probably Zeppelin, but I really
I knew that was going to be your answer. Pick another band.
I was thinking Daft Punk. I thought you.
That's what I was going to say. That would be
it's
very.
funny. If you go on YouTube, and it's really close. There is a video. It's like a IMAX 4K. Somebody went and remastered it. They performed at Coachella. They weren't even a headliner, but they had this legendary concert at Coachella in
really?
07. And you can actually, I think the live album is on Spotify. It's called Alive 2007. But if you find that on YouTube, the light show is insane. They've got this pyramid looking deal, and what they did, and it was actually I watched a video about it. What made that concert so revolutionary was it was the first time they rigged the lights to where as they made different noises, it would augment so it wasn't like a programmed thing. As they changed it, the lights changed. So they were not only in control of the music, they were also in control of the lights.
That's gonna be cool. That's cool.
So it was just this legendary concert that people weren't expecting. But I mean, I probably would. I'd want to go to that. I was a little mad because I had tickets to see Tame Impala.
Oh yeah, I know you like that.
Excuse me, I need to clarify. Tame Impala. Somebody says I said Tim and Impala.
Okay, no. You did not say Tim and Paula. The joke is that well, okay. So like for Tame Impala, that's the indie band that people listen
the cliche
to.
one.
They're like, oh my gosh, my favorite songs. The less I know, the better. Or whatever.
And that's the only song they know.
That's the only song they know. And with me is that I know a lot of Tame Impala songs. I'm not like a really weird radical fan, but I make fun of those who like are radical fans because it's just like you guys are pathetic. I know.
If you're a radical fan for any band and you kind of like
a stan,
yeah,
yeah.
Like if you're just like that radical and you're like, oh, you don't listen to all their songs, you can't be a fan. It's just music,
bro. It's just music. Just listen to what you want to listen to. But no, the joke is with Tame Impala is because since that's the indie band that everybody listens to, you have a lot of those people that don't really know a lot about Tame Impala. They'll be like, it's my favorite band. I love how they make songs together. When in all reality, it's just the lead singer and not even a lead singer. It's just what he does. He makes the songs. His name's Kevin Parker. And a lot of people, they don't actually say Tame and Paula right. They'll say Tim and Paula, like my boy Tim and your girl Paula. So it's just kind of like a little joke that one of my friends did not know
I was talking about Tame and Paula for a while. But no, I was bummed out when that show got canceled. But I'm gonna totally see them at some point.
Henry, what concert do you want to go to, or what band do you want to see?
I mean, since originally it was going to be either the two concerts that we were going to go to that got canceled, which was Elton John or Tame Impala. Oh gosh, those were.
Did it get canceled because of COVID or just?
Yeah, it was because of COVID. Both of them, they were like.
That for February.
What?
There's a rescheduled date. That doesn't mean that's going to be what the date is, but I think it's like February.
Is that for Elton
next
John
year.
or Tame Impala?
Elton John.
Okay, that'd be nice if he sticks to it, and if we can get through that as like a nation, because I really want to see Elton John.
I think they're going to try and make that work. They might be able to.
I don't want to say he's near death, but just with older artists in general, you want to go see him when you can't see him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't want that man to die. He's too good at music, but you know it's just people get old and you just don't know what happens. So.
You know the Eagles?
Yes.
We saw the Eagles, and by the
really?
end of the show, do you know who Joe Walsh is?
No.
Well, okay, you can look him up later, but he's one of the members of the Eagles. Most people, when they think of the Eagles, they think of Don Henley, the drummer, or Glenn Frey, the kind of like the lead guitarist.
Yeah.
But Joe Walsh, he's one of the guys. Him and Don Felder at the end of Hotel California, they're the ones doing the dueling guitars or whatever. And he is the funniest guy ever. Yeah. He's got some personality. He had a big solo career himself, but
I think I've heard about that.
But by the end of the show, Henry and I weren't sure who Joe Walsh really was. But by the end of it, we knew exactly who Joe Walsh was. He was greatest.
The thing with me, I listen to bands, but I don't know the individual like players.
Yeah,
I feel bad for that because everybody's like, oh yeah, like how you just said Joe Walsh. I was like,
Who is
it's
that?
the guitar player for Eagles, and I just felt so stupid.
I'm a little nerd with when it comes to like facts about different bands. Yeah, like I don't
because
know the
you're
theory,
a dork.
but I'm kind of an encyclopedia on music I like.
You know what? I think you strive to be an encyclopedia on just a lot of things. I mean, for reference, what year did The Dark Knight come out? In what year? Oh wait. Okay. How about oh crap, what would be a good one? How about Dazed and Confused, that movie? What year?
93.
Exactly my point.
Cool party trick.
I can
that
tell
is a
you
cool
the
point.
runtime of a lot of movies.
The runtime?
I can tell
Like
you the run
down to
line.
the
I
minute
can-
or like down to like maybe a couple of minutes kind of thing?
the minute.
Really? Okay. I don't want to
There are
like throw out a
exceptions.
movie.
I've tried this sometimes, and sometimes I screw it up. But I
Okay.
can get it within 5.
I'll do popular movies. How about Pulp Fiction?
Oh, Pulp Fiction. That's 154 minutes.
Oh my. Okay, let's see. Let's fact check this right
Fact
now. This
check
is
it.
kind of a fun game, actually.
Oh,
Okay.
and also the weird thing about movies too is that I don't watch a lot of movies. I didn't go to theaters a lot. Back whenever theaters were open, it's just I used to watch Marvel movies with my brother. That's it. Just straight Marvel movies.
Yeah. There's a lot of movies out there, but
I
Marvel's
know,
been
like Oscar,
great lately.
I have like
Wait, no. How many minutes did you say?
154. Don't you say it's 53, because it's 53 and some change, so that rounds up 54.
Well, on this it says it's 2 hours and 58 minutes. So if we
It's
did the
not
math,
2 hours and 58 minutes.
Okay. Sheesh. Okay.
I watched it on HBO.
Okay, yeah, you're right. 200,
Yeah, I know.
154. Okay, that's the whole. That's the. Okay, you gotta go IMDb, not just straight up Google with this. Okay,
Google does not know what it's talking about.
it's you and IMDb that are the. Okay, wait, what are you talking about right now? I'm sorry, I was in the.
He's talking about Marvel movies.
Okay.
I just used to watch Marvel movies in theaters. That's it. Just Marvel movies with my brother. Because I just didn't have any interest in other ones. But then I started watching other movies on like Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus. They're pretty nice. Like during quarantine, I watched Shawshank Redemption for the first time.
That is my favorite movie of all time, and apparently that's like a stereotype, but that's just a great movie.
It's
okay.
It is, and I was like, wow, he just really dug his way through a whole entire wall.
Yeah.
3 football fields worth of sewage. He had to climb through to get to.
Well, and
Freedom.
if I remember, the reason that's an effective thing in that movie is because he starts digging maybe early, like, I don't know, an hour into the movie, and as the plot progresses, you kind of forget about it. And then at the end of it, he's going to leave, and you remember it again. It's like, and wow, he was really just digging away at that for 7 years or whatever while the plot developed for the last hour. You forget. It's great.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah, so the reason why sometimes we have pauses before I speak is because currently we're recording and there's people in this room. So if there is noise, my apologies, that's all me. But I mute myself when I'm not speaking because this mic ends up picking up a lot of it. But yeah, I know that doesn't matter. But no, going back to like the Shawshank thing is that I remember watching it the first time and it'd be like, so why does he want a poster of a
hot woman?
A hot woman on your wall? Like obviously you're in prison, might as well, but like, why? Like,
Yeah.
why?
To hide something.
Yeah,
And it's so
like
weird.
to hide something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's like you just at first you don't really process like he wants to hide something in the wall, and it's just like, or at least for me, I didn't, because then he starts building relationships with the other prisoners. Like, oh, he might not escape. And
He
then
likes it here.
He likes it here, and then boom, He just out.
Yeah.
And the way with the delivery with the this is major spoilers, by the way. I think we already passed this, but the way that they deliver, I mean, it's a 20. What year did it come out, Noah?
94.
94. That's right, because that's when Forrest Gump came out. So that's a 30. Wait, no, it's a 28, 29. Crap, math. 27-year-old movie.
Yeah.
So it's a 27-year-old movie. At this point, you need to watch it.
All three of us. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's older than all three of us. But no, the way that they do the delivery on because you really think that, he's been in the hole for months on end. They literally kill his student, his freedom, because that ended up being that he could testify and possibly get Andy out of prison. So it's like at that point you expect there's nothing left for him to be free, and then he asks for a rope and you're like, why did he ask for a rope? And then the way that they do delivery, they sitting on his bed just like mangling the rope, and you're like, what the heck's gonna go on? And then the next morning you wake up and he's not in there. And you're like, what? Yeah. So I thought that was really really good delivery, that whole like 10-minute portion.
I was watching it and my mom walked in and she's like, are you watching Shawshank? And I was like, yeah. And then she's like, you haven't seen it before? And I was like, no. And my mom and my dad apparently just watch a lot of old movies, or they have. And then they were surprised when I'm watching like the movies they love. And I'm just like, I like movies too. I like to watch.
I prefer old movies typically.
Yeah, I understand that, but some newer movies have like a good cinematography with it too.
They definitely do. Have you seen 1917?
No. Oh, is it like it's that movie where it's all one shot?
There's a halfway through the movie something happens and it cuts, but it is filmed to be 2 different takes.
Yeah.
And the director of photography, Roger Deakins, he is a master.
Because like they just pan over like a wall, and then that's where it cuts.
Yeah, no, and sometimes they'll like go through a crevice in a wall or whatever, and that works to cut. But it is a phenomenal movie.
Lots and lots of planning. And I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it on that note. It's currently 2 minutes before the bell rings and that we have to end periods, and Ian has to leave us. So,
well,
any closing thoughts, Ian?
I just want to say,
be late.
It's choir. We're gonna.
Yeah.
We need to work on like our choir in general is like COVID and everything. Kind of lagged behind.
Yeah.
I think that's with most choirs throughout. Well, not just our state, but the entire nation, frankly.
So closing remarks. Thank you guys for inviting me. I would
happy that it was kind of last minute, so I'm happy that you we're all good with it. Yeah,
we've been wanting to have you on for a long time.
I would be glad to do another one. Any topic, I'm glad to do another one.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I told everybody we know, you'd be the one to do like a 2 or 3 hour conversation.
I mean, after the 30th. This is when I'm not required to go to school. I'll probably do like a long one if you want.
Yeah, we can do one.
When we finish tests, I'm totally down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like that last week. Well, like I think our bio is the 19th, so after that I think we can be fine.
You're about to graduate.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we already addressed that you're a senior. But okay, so your last day is on Friday. Last thing. Favorite thing you've done at Springdale High School?
Favorite thing? Oh. There's a lot of things, but to be specific, it's always the Plaza Day that we just had a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And then that day of my sophomore year.
Oh, okay.
My sophomore year, I kind of skipped the entire day and just went to the Plaza.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's cool. I think a lot
I was
of people
kind of
did that
excused,
this
but kind of not. So, yeah.
That's cool.
That's probably what I'm going to do next year, because I just don't care anymore. I have too much work, and I know my teachers too well that I'm just going to skip, and they're going to like it. But that being said, Ian, thank you for coming on. Noah, thank you for not coming on and not being too annoying to me earlier today.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Nice joke.
I'm surprised
I know, right?
y'all didn't have a little argument.
We normally don't when we're in a professional setting, not professional, but like when we need to not argue, we won't argue. We'll argue about the dumbest things.
He gives me the death stare whenever I interrupt him, and I'm just like.
Well, it was because that if you are listening to the first 2 or 3 episodes, we interrupted each other a lot, and it was kind of my fault the second time. And he walked in when I was not having a good day and being like, Henry, you need to change your ways, XYZ, and I'm just like, that's not it. And then I had I was just frustrated, but since then it's like I'm fine being quiet.
Yeah.
But that being said, thank you everybody for listening to this podcast. If you made it all the way through, you guys are really a trooper, because this one's it's a 45 and currently 45 minutes and 39 seconds.
Share it with your friends, Ian. Please put this on your story because you have way more people following you on Snapchat than Henry and I do.
Yes. Thank you for
guys.
Yeah. So thank you for listening to the podcast. Follow us on Spotify. I think we're on Pandora, iHeartRadio. We're still trying to get to iTunes. We're
Pandora
also on
still
Spotify. We're also on YouTube. Yeah, no, we're also on YouTube, and that's our main platform that we'll record these to. So, yes, thank you for listening. Ian, thank you for coming. Noah, thank you for coming. And we'll see you. Well, I'll see you next time.